Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we are in the newest snapshot. And if guys have been catch up with the newest snapshot, you will know that the redstone has been changed a little bit. And I'm not really that fond about the newest change. And today we're gonna look into the changes and see what kind of impact they have in the current redstone machines. So we are in this world, and this world has the examples of the changes, and so we are gonna look at them one by one. So this first one obviously doesn't change anything, it's just a visual thing, and also the hitbox is a little bit bigger so that it makes more sense when you see the visual kind of design. And so we'll skip that and let's look at this one. So this obviously gives us a lot of tricks to do. So for example, I will show you one right now. So you know that we can stack the redstone dust using glass like this and let the redstone dust climb up vertically. So it should look like this, and we'll power the lowest one, and you can see the redstone signal is being sent up, but because it's glass and the redstone won't redirect, you can see that these won't work. You can see like this. So previously we don't have this change, we have to use repeaters, and it should be something like this. So obviously it looks a little bit bulky, and also it's quite expensive to craft this many repeaters just to do this. But now you can actually use your target block and do something like this, and because the target block will redirect the redstone dust, and also the redirected redstone dust will also power the direction that it is redirected in, you can actually do stuff like this, and you can see that it looks much more cleaner, and also it's just cheaper, I guess. Well, I don't know how to craft a target block, I forgot, but I believe it is much more cheaper. And also it looks kind of nice. You can see they are all full blocks, and yeah, it's much better in my opinion. And also one more thing, because there is quasi connectivity, you can see that you can also power the pistons in this kind of situation. So you can actually power a whole wall like this, and maybe this one won't because you have to do something like maybe like this, and boom, it is powering the whole piston wall. So let's see if it works properly. Yep, it works. So that means you can now do something like this and keeping it look nice. And also one more reason why using the target block is much more better, it is because if you use a repeater like this, it will delay it by 2 game ticks or 1 redstone tick, and so that means you have to delay the rest of the system where you don't use this by 2 game ticks. But now if you use your target block, it is actually directly powering the wall of pistons, so that means it is instant because the redstones are redirected into this wall of piston, and there is absolutely no delay whatsoever to this kind of setup. You can see it is much more faster. Let me build one more just to compare them. So we can see there's clearly a delay in between them, and I'll actually do something like this, and you can see that this one will be faster than this one because it is using target block and there's absolutely no delay, like that. And for the retracting, it's also the same. So definitely quite useful, and I believe we will start to see these things pop up in a lot of those redstone machines. Oh, and also let's try this one. Let's see if it will work. Oh, okay. Okay. So so that means you can do stuff like this. Oh, and there is absolutely no delay. But if you use a repeater, there will be a delay. But if you use a target block, there isn't. So that is this is quite cool. Again, if you don't want delay, you can use these target blocks as repeaters, and they will redirect the redstone dust into these pistons or whatever you want to power. So that is actually also pretty cool. And of course, you can also power stuff up here. Oh, yes. This is definitely very useful, because if you use a repeater, you can't do that. But if you use a target block, since it is redirecting the redstone dust into the target block, it acts like a redstone block. So that means you can power whatever stuff that is around these target blocks, even underneath. Let me show you that. Like that. So it's super useful. You can power everything around these target blocks. So now let's look at the third one, which is this one. So by looking at it, there isn't a lot of stuff you can do with it, but let me try to build it a lot bigger. So since it is like this, and we can power stuff like that, so that means we can also do stuff like this. Yep. And just like that, we can power everything with just one single redstone line. And also, I noticed that the piston also works. So, yep, it definitely works. So, this may be useful, but I don't see any practical usage for this one. And also, let me try to combine this idea with that staircase idea and see if I can do something interesting. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's actually quite convenient if you want to power, again, a lot of blocks and some stuff that you need to power. But this actually saves a lot of space, since you don't have to do stuff like this and then put your piston. You can see that it is much more outwards, but now you can just put on top of the redstone, and it's just powering whatever stuff you put on the redstones. And you can do whatever stuff with this. You can see we can power a lot of things by just using all of the feature in this change. I can also put more target blocks you can power a lot of stuff by just using one single line. So you can see you can power everything beside this one redstone line. And that will do it for the third one. So we have 1, 2, 3. And then this fourth one, there isn't actually a lot of things to say about this, because this is actually just a bug fix. So previously in the snapshot video, I didn't really take time to explain why this is even a change. So now I will explain why this is a change. So previously, if you do something like maybe like this, and then you just put a redstone dust like this, and you can see that it is no longer powering this piston, because it makes sense, because this redstone line is being redirected to the side, and you can see it no longer is directed into this piston. But because previously there isn't an update to the actual system saying that this redstone line is being curved and no longer pointing straight, because previously there is actually a desync in the system and also the visuals. So you can previously, if you do something like this, and there is a piston like this, and then when you redirect the redstone like this, the visual will actually still be like this, and you can see that it is curved. But the system will think that it is like this, a T shape, and so this whatever things you put here will actually be powered. So they fixed the desync, and now it actually have this behavior instead of the other one, and it also syncs with the visuals. And now finally the fifth one, and personally I hate this change the most out of the other four, because it is actually kind of stupid how this new system works. So previously, let's actually clear our inventory, and we'll take a cauldron and some water bottles. So right here we'll put down 4 of them, actually yeah, 4 of them. So this will put 1, this will be 2, this will be 3. Oh, well, there's actually 3 stages only, so yeah, 3, and then a comparator, and we'll put them on the side of all of these cauldrons, and then we'll put the redstone dust in front, so like this. Okay, so well, let me just set up this, and we'll jump to where I have finished them. Okay, so that is everything. So right here you can see it actually make a lot of sense as for why this is actually 1, because the level of the water is just 1. You can see on the top right corner, a little bit lower, there says level 1, and this says 2, and this is 3, and it obviously still works the same, so it is still logical. You can see 1, 2, and 3, and it isn't giving more power than it should, so the maximum is 3, and it is 3. So now let's let the redstone curve, and you can see that's where the redstone kind of is acting weird. So like this, and once I put down a redstone lamp, you can see that it is powered. Like, so previously how you count this is actually by one redstone dust at a time. So this is 3, 2, 1, and then 0. So this shouldn't be powered. But because there apparently is kind of an issue where player thinks that because this is redirected into this block should be powered, which is weird. So if you take time to understand how redstone works, it's actually quite easy to count. So you just count 3, 2, 1, 0. So since this is 0, this block shouldn't be powered. So this redstone lamp should be turned off. And it's actually the same for every single one of these situations. So you can see it is still powered because for some reason the redstone signal will actually stretch up to here, which is on this block. So this essentially is kind of like putting a redstone dust on the side of this block. So imagine the game is rotated 90 degrees and the redstone dust is being placed on this block, which is weird. Why do you want to stretch the redstone signal up to here? Because it kind of just doesn't make sense, because you can see that since this comparator gives out 3 signal strength, and why it gives out 3 signal strength is that it is too far to be powered. And if you listen to me, I will say why this is weird. So since this is level 3 and it gives out 3 signal strength, and the logic for why the redstone's strength can be put out to this distance only is because it is too far to be powered. There isn't enough power to send the signal strength far enough. But for some reason it has enough signal strength to power up to here, up to this point. But if you make it able to power to this point, you should be able to power to here, because it's actually just the same. The distance is actually literally the same. So just 1 meter, 2 meter, kind of 0.5, and you can count from here. So another 0.5 and 0.5 to this direction too. So we will not count the 0.5. So we're up to this point, which is 1 more meter right here, but not here. So if you make the redstone signal be able to power to here, you should be able to power to this redstone dust right here, which doesn't make sense. Because if you fold this redstone dust to the floor and not being folded 3D like this, it's literally just like this if you fold it into a flat surface. So it should look something like this. It will power all of these 4 redstone dusts, because visually it's powering to this point, but when you lay it flat it doesn't power this redstone dust, and it's just confusing. In my opinion, it makes the redstone system a lot more confusing to the new player trying to use redstone. You can see it doesn't make sense, and this is my biggest complaint for the changes to the redstone. So yeah, weird. So I think that is gonna do it for today's video. I mostly understand why Mojang do all of these changes, because they have said that they want to change the redstone's system in Minecraft to make it more intuitive for the new players and not be as confusing as what we have now. But yeah, I kind of agree. This, despite it being a lot more uglier, it does make more sense. This one is kind of like a small redstone change, and right here this one is also kind of similar to the second one, which is a small change. This is a bug fix, and this just completely doesn't make sense. So yeah, I partially is okay with the changes, but it's just the last one right here, and I really hope that Mojang will change this last behavior, since it doesn't make sense at all. So that is gonna do it for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to never miss any future contents. So I'm Froxty, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!